My name's Laurel, and welcome to my podcast. Call me a stoic. This week has been kind of crazy, sad, hectic. Yeah, those are the words I would use to describe it. My best friend went back to college this past weekend, and I miss her. I'll see her soon, though. I'm gonna go visit her. I'm so excited. Also, I had a chem test today. I think I did okay. But also my study buddy said that they got confused on parts of it too, which made me feel better. And at least I'm not alone. You know what I mean? I don't know. Something about this one was way more stressful because people were like finishing so fast. And I was just like, how? How are you finishing so fast? It's just so annoying because there was stuff on this test that my professor literally hasn't even gone over. Like, how are you going to do that to us, bro? How are you going to do that to us? And then threaten like how much it's going to affect our grade? Like, this is so BS. Deep breaths. And I'm also procrastinating right now because I have math homework I need to do, but I just needed a mental break. Those are necessary to get through because it's been a long day. I had class and then I had work. Now I still have homework to do because I wasn't able to finish it at work. So here we are. It is 8:50 on a Friday night and this is what I'm doing. Although honestly I'd rather be home than doing anything else because I like being at home. I'm a homebody. I don't really like going out. Unless it's to do something like cool. And to me, cool is like go to the art museum. So I feel like people wouldn't really agree with me on that one. But you know what? To each their own, you know? But I guess in conclusion, not even in conclusion, to begin, the daily stoic that I wanted to talk about this week is focus on process, not outcomes. Number 21 out of 50. Well, this is the first one that I'm doing, but it's number 21 on the list of 50. And if you don't know what list of 50 I'm talking about, go watch or listen to the episode before this. I'm really hoping to have like the audio version set up on like Spotify or something soon. So stay tuned. I ordered two new pictures. Jack Harlow, Bay, Missionary Jack. You can whip your lovin' on me. Ha. That was so cringe, but I mean, he's cute. So, and then I'm also putting Keyglot because he cute and we got the same birthday. So, also, I've been really effing with some of his songs. So, yeah, let me just get into it because I could ramble forever. So, here we go. Focus on process, not outcomes. Basically, take it one step at a time. Sometimes focusing too much on the future can get you stressed out. It gets me stressed out. I know that. And I'm a very future focused, oriented person. And let me tell you, that gets me into trouble sometimes. I've had several mental breakdowns over focusing too much on the future and not enough on the now. Because the thing is that the future is going to be what it's going to be. Yeah, it's impacted by things that I do right now, but I might as well focus on what I'm doing right now so that I have the future that I want. Still trying not to focus too much on the outcome, but that's really hard as far as my future goes because everything I do every single day is future oriented for the most part. So, well, yeah, every second impacts the future, but I try not to focus too much on that because it stresses me out. But it's easier to focus on one step at a time opposed to the whole journey ahead. Basically, like I was saying, like taking it one step at a time and doing things at a more approachable rate. Like in class today, my professor was literally talking about like goal setting and how you don't want to set too many goals for yourself because then it makes it more intimidating, less approachable. And that is applicable with like any goals that you're setting, whether it's for your life, whether it's for your job, whether it's for school, whether it if it's for like some extracurricular activity. Personally, I could relate this to my podcast. So, it can be related to a lot of things, but just focusing on the smaller components, the smaller stepping stones that you're going to have to step on to get to that outcome, because without following those steps, you're not going to be able to get to it anyways. So you might as well focus on the smaller things first. Makes things feel a little more attainable. And that's something I'm trying to work on, trying to live more in the now and focus more on the now. For example, with my job, it's kind of gotten, how do I say this? Basically, we used to be busy and now we're kind of slower, but it's not our fault. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, it's kind of slower. And so there's more downtime. And so I don't feel as productive when I'm there. And that's literally the reason why I quit my other job. Because I was working two jobs. And then I was like, one of these it's not worth it right now. And I don't like just sitting around and not doing anything and not being productive. So I had to quit. And now I'm at my current job and I've almost been working there for 2 years, which is crazy. Literally 2 years as of February 14th. Valentine's Day was my first day, which is kind of funny. With that, I've been feeling kind of defeated as far as my job goes because I'm like, what is the point? But there's so many points. There's so many points. And I was reminded of one of those points earlier this week. Tuition reimbursement, man. I'm getting some tuition reimbursement for working, and getting that check felt nice. And I was like, wow, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this. As far as one of my stepping stones, I work at a physical therapy clinic and I want to be a physical therapist. So, working there, anyways, I gain knowledge all the time. But since less has been happening, it's harder to be able to gain more knowledge because I'm not doing as much. I think you get what I'm saying with that. But you will get rewarded as you go, even if it's by yourself. Something to keep in mind though is even if you're focusing on the process and less on the outcome, you still want to keep your eye on the ball, on that goal. You still want to keep your eye on it. You don't want to just forget about it because then you're going to forget why you're taking all these steps and you're going to forget what direction you're going in. So, you want to keep your goal in mind still, your outcome in mind. But you just don't want it to be necessarily the center of what you're doing because it can get draining. Coming from experience over here, it can be draining. And I think it's a pretty normal thing to kind of focus on the bigger goal and not on the smaller things. It comes across personally as like more fulfilling when you reach that overarching goal, but at the same time, if you set yourself smaller goals and then you're meeting all of those, you kind of get to build yourself up. And then when you reach that bigger goal, then you're like, wow. And you can give yourself a little pat on the back, a little pat on the back, because you deserve it for real. A couple notes I made to myself were things will happen as they happen. You're in the right place at the right time. The process is how you learn. hard work pays off, and live in the moment. Enjoy the moment because you're never going to get it back. You're for real never going to get it back. And that's kind of hard that we don't have time travel invented yet because that would be cool. But at the same time, another thing that I like to live by is reflect, don't regret. Like, don't regret the past, but just reflect on it and move forward with all of the wisdom that you gain from it. And that's just the best you can do. Like, all you can really do is just keep moving forward one step at a time. So, I kind of have a personal example that I feel is a good representation of this overarching statement, focusing on the process and not the outcome. And for me, that started in eighth grade. So I kind of have known that I've wanted to be a physical therapist for a long time. When I was in eighth grade, I found out about this program at the high school I was going to be going to, and it was called athletic training. And I went into high school thinking that I was going to be doing sports, but I also had heard about this program and I was like, ooh, that sounds really interesting. So I always kept it in the back of my mind. And then when I went into high school, I did volleyball. That was not a fun experience, but it did point me in the direction that I wanted to be going because I would see at all our games these trainers. They were called ATAs, athletic training aides or assistants. I honestly don't know which one it is. I always just called it ATA. And if anyone asked, I would just say athletic training assistant because that makes the most sense to me. But, anyways, I would always see these ATAs at my games. And then one time I went up and I asked, and I will never forget, I asked this girl that was an ATA and I asked her how like would I start doing this? And she said, "Go talk to the athletic trainer." And so I did. Went in and I talked to her once the season was over because my dad forced me to stay the whole time, which I mean, gotta finish what you start, so I get it. But I went and I talked to her and then I joined ATA, and that was for the winter season of my freshman year of high school. From there, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the rehab process, with caring for other people, for being involved with something like that. For real was my family. Like the athletic trainer, she's still there and she's literally my surrogate mother. Like I'll go and stop in and I'll just talk to her because I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. Like you only get it if you get it. So that was one stepping stone for me. Was going into high school and starting ATA. And one part of doing ATA is, well, you deal with all the sports. Like any season of the year, you're dealing with sports. And one of the sports that we're mainly involved in was football. And my high school is decently known for their football team. And I was at all of their practices. And they were focusing on the process, not the outcome, too. I mean, they kind of were focusing on the outcome, like the win at the end of the week, Friday night, but they were more so focusing on the process. Like every day, going to practice, they had a schedule, they had a weekly schedule of how to kind of get themselves ready. And then they would win the effing game most of the time. But my senior year, we were pretty good. We got that ring, baby. That was pretty cool. That was a very cool experience. And that's another focusing on the process, not the outcome. Like they had to go out every Friday, play, and win, hoping to make it to the championship. Like I wasn't playing or anything, but I did really feel like I was part of the team. And like if you were on that team, like I really appreciate our time together for real. even if you were rude to me, like whatever, it's in the past. But that whole experience really taught me a lot, and it was another stepping stone. All my 4 years of being part of athletic training was a stepping stone for me. And my senior year, the next stepping stone that I took was there's a program that is associated with my high school. And basically, it's a vocational school. And if you don't know what a vocational school is, it's basically where you can go to the school and they teach you about, there's so many things that they could teach you about, but specifically, I did the physical therapy tech program. And with most of the programs, they have some sort of internship or certificate that's associated with it that you get at the end of completing it. And so I took all of my elective hours for senior year. And instead of doing any electives at my high school, I would go to this other campus and I would be there for half of my day. And I am so happy that I did that for many reasons. I made good friends in that class. I learned a lot, and I wouldn't have the job that I have now if it wasn't for literally doing that program. But I also wouldn't have the job that I have now if it wasn't for my athletic trainer because she helped me get in touch with the clinic that I work at now that I started my internship at my senior year. That was such like a cool experience to go from just learning about what I wanted to do and thinking about it and then working in the actual setting that I want to work in. A lot of people don't get the opportunity to do that. And so I really do feel blessed that we even had that as a thing because I just know that there's a ton of people out there that if they had the opportunity to go to school and work at the place that they think that they want to do for the rest of their life, they would be able to figure out sooner whether or not that's what they actually want to do. And for me, I got lucky because this is what I actually want to do. And I have my own ideas for how I want to execute, but I still got school to go through. So, got to focus on the process, not the outcomes. Full circle moment right there. Then I was talking to my dad about it, and he gave me the example of building a bridge. So, let's say you want to build a bridge from one side of the river to the other side of the river. To do that, you got to put the poles into the ground and then put the pieces of wood on top of those poles, go out 10 feet, and then you got to do the same process again over and over and over again until you get to the other side. And you can only focus on one of those things at a time before moving on to the next. Literally, you can't move forward without focusing on what's literally right in front of you. I thought that was a pretty good example, personally. But yeah, I think just having that in mind of focusing on the process, focus on the process. It's a positive way to look at things because then it's not as much thinking, oh, I'm not even getting closer to this main goal, this outcome. I'm not even getting closer. Like, there's no not doing the process. Like, every day you're participating in that process, you're building on that process. I don't know how to say it any other way. Over this past week, I've been really letting this daily stoic sink in, and I've been thinking about it every single day. I've been trying to apply it even more so than I have been because I do feel like I'm kind of stuck in a rut, like I was saying at the beginning. Like, I've felt like I was stuck in a rut, and I just need to focus on the process more. Like, I need to focus more on the process, not the outcome, because it makes me antsy. Like, literally just sitting here thinking about it, it makes me antsy. But if I just focus on what I got to do tomorrow, it's a lot simpler. And then my mind isn't as foggy. and all over the place. But yeah, I'm just focusing on tomorrow. As long as I get my homework done tonight, I'm chilling. Because guess what? Part of the process for me is my grades. My grades. I gotta pass my classes first before I do anything else. Yeah. I also won't get my tuition reimbursement if I don't pass my classes. So everything's connected. Everything is connected. Next week's Valentine's Day, and I have a hot date. Me, myself, and I think I'm gonna. I have lab that day, so I'm not even gonna be getting out of class until 8:30 p.m., which is gonna be just lovely. So I think I'm gonna take myself to a movie, get myself some flowers. That'll be chill. I'll have to figure it out, but I already asked my sister. I was like, "Hey, like, do you got plans for Valentine's Day?" And she was like, no." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, same. We should go to a movie." And she's down, so knowing her though, by the time I get home from lab, she's probably gonna be like, "I don't want to go anywhere." I mean, I can't even complain because that's so me too. Like, I would say the same exact thing. But I really don't want to be stuck inside watching all these people be happy in love. Although I do love love. Like, I love seeing people in love. It's such a beautiful thing. Although, if I go to a movie, there's probably going to be so many couples. It's fine. I'll be with my sister, or I'm going to go solo. I don't even care. Maybe a movie will be nice. Although the last time that I went to a movie by myself, I ended up falling asleep and woke up to the credits. So I really hope that that doesn't happen again. And I was like the only one in the theater. There was like, it was me. And then tell me why. Tell me why there's a whole theater. There's a whole theater. I go in, I'm the only person in there. And then, like, right before the movie starts, this couple walks in and they sit in the same row as me. They sit in the same row as me, but at the end, you got the rest of the theater and you want to sit in the same row as me while I'm trying to be all eating my popcorn and my treats and getting all comfy cozy? I don't think you guys want to experience that. So I don't understand why they did that, but then I ended up falling asleep, so I guess it turned out fine. I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh, Valentine's Day. I have some funny Valentine's Day stories actually. That's another focus on the process, not the outcome. I need to focus on the process of getting through what I'm working on right now before I focus on my future husband because mm-mm, mm. Men are just disappointing me right now. Like for real. I don't understand. Like, you guys don't even have the balls to talk to me. And then when you do, you're just rude. Like, what? Let's be for real. Like, come on. It's not necessary. It was pretty bad though. Like, if you want to hear a funny story, okay. A funny story about Valentine's Day is okay. There was this guy and okay, he was a friend. Like, I don't think he understood that that's what was going on, but he was a friend and he ended up asking me to be his Valentine, like used my middle name and everything. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You are my friend. And I said no. Which like might sound mean, but I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to lead you on. Like, we're friends. And then he got really upset, and so I kind of just kept my distance. Plus, like, we didn't even go to the same school, so it was like I didn't even see him. And then I'm with my friend, and we were like across the street from my house. And tell me why we're walking back to my house, and there's a parking lot across the street. So there was a car parked across the street from my house in the parking lot that me and my friend were in. And it was this guy's car. And you can't, you might be like, well, like it could be anybody's car. How'd you know it was his car? Like, trust, I knew it was his car. And then I confirmed it was his car. So I see the car, and then I see a guy get out of the car that looks like this guy sees me and my friend, gets back in his car, waits for us to finish walking across the street. Me and my friend saw him, and we started like speed walking, damn near running back across the street to my house. And then I'm like, okay, well, he has his location on Snap Maps. I'm looking at his location to see if it's him. It's him. It's him. And then I texted him. I was like, why were you across the street from my house? Because why? Like, why? And he was like, oh, I was stopping to like look up directions to this other person's house. I know where that other person lives. And he was said that he was coming from getting off of work. Work in that person's house is in the other direction of my house. And just weird. Like, you really did not need to come and literally stalk me, because earlier that day he had asked me to like hang out, and I said, I'm hanging out with one of my friends. And it's like he didn't believe me or something. So he came and he showed up at my house. Like, what? Yeah, I haven't spoken to him. I haven't spoken to him since. I hope he's doing well though. Doubt he's watching this, but if you were watching this, that was not cool. That was not cool. And I really hope you didn't do that again, because that is not how you get a girl to be your Valentine. That is not how you do it. And this is what I mean when I say guys are doing it all wrong. Like, what is that? Ugh, I can't. I hope everyone has a good Valentine's Day though, because even if you don't have a date or anything, you can always just do something with yourself. Do something for yourself. I don't know, maybe take a nap. Buy yourself some flowers, some chocolate. Take yourself out to get some food. Hang out with some friends. I was talking to one of the patients at the clinic today, and her friends are doing, she's in high school, but her and her friends are doing like a Galentine's. I've never done a Galentine's, but it sounds fun. Maybe do it with some of your friends. I'm just gonna send, I'm actually gonna send Valentines to all my friends or give them to them. So, so if you're my friend and you're watching this, you didn't hear that, but you're getting a Valentine. Because everyone deserves one, to be honest. I remember in I remember in like middle school and high school, they would have this thing where you could pay for a serenade to be sent to like someone's classroom. And I always wanted one of those. Neither my boyfriend in high school or in middle school ever wanted to pay for one for me. I honestly should have just paid for myself. Whatever. But my sister's actually gonna like do that. She's gonna sing. Good for her, to be honest. I need to stop saying that, to be honest. But to be honest, in conclusion, keep in mind to focus on the process and not the outcome so you don't stress yourself out too much. Because been there, done that. We all need to move forward. So, yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.